Back in Google Classroom, a magic square is another good worksheet to test with students in order to practice building skills. In this example, you will need to again use the equal sign to build a formula to add cells, but it's a great way to begin helping students understand what a function is, that concept of copying and pasting relative formulas. Each person has their own magic square spreadsheet. A magic square is such that when you put in the digits 1 through 9 in each of these boxes, it will add up to 15 across the rows, down the columns, and across the diagonals. I did share a sheet with formulas already in there if you want to just play with the numbers, and the answer in case you do this with students and you just want the answer. Students will Google very successfully and find this answer, so you want to try to restrict them from using the internet to Google a solution. We know that when we want to build a formula, we press equal, click in the cell, plus, and press enter to lock in the answer. So a blank plus a blank plus a blank equals 0. I could do this, and you want to explain to students, I could say equals this plus this plus this. Press enter to get your answer. But if you had 50 or 60 or even 15 cells that you wanted to add, it's not an efficient way to build a formula. So Excel and all spreadsheets have functions built in. A function again begins with an equal sign, followed by a word that represents the function, in this case sum, and then you open a parenthesis, click in the first cell that you want to have in the sum, and you can click and drag across and close the parenthesis, or you can hand type the function. So equals sum B5 colon D5 means add the cells, add the value that are in the cells starting in B5 through D5. That can be copied down. You cannot use an equal sum function going across the diagonals, so you do have to build your diagonal formula individually. You're going to want to have the columns summed up, and then it's just a matter of playing with the numbers. You can only use each digit one time in each cell. This is intended to help students understand why is it that you always include cell references in formulas, and the answer is so that you can play around with numbers and see how things are adding up. So in this case, I put each digit in a cell one time. The diagonals are adding up to 15, so is one row and one column, but 2 rows and 2 columns aren't adding up to 15. So you can begin trying to change where the numbers are and see how that affects the answers. This is the power of a spreadsheet, being able to try different numbers and see if you get the result that you want. As I had mentioned before, you could say view show formulas, and this gives you, the teacher, the ability to evaluate how your students did with creating the formulas. Did they just type equals 7 plus 5 plus 9? Did they actually attempt to use the sum function? And did they include the correct beginning and ending cells? Control and the accent mark would work in Excel to do the same thing.